Assalamualaikum, I am Siti Juzailah from Group 7. In this video, we are going to explain about swine and poultry industry in New Zealand. First of all, let me introduce before we know the further information of their industries. Commercial poultry farming in New Zealand has been established for more than 50 years. During those 5 decades, we have seen astronomical growth within the industry. The consumption of red meat has steadily declined over the past 10 years from 36 kg per person per year to only 11 kg. Chicken consumption has increased due to its versatility as a food, and it is a lower price and considered a healthier choice as compared to the other meats. New Zealand Pork is the statutory industry board that works to support New Zealand's pork producers, building a sustainable future and ensuring high standards of animal welfare. Pigs have a long history of providing food and fat for mankind. Thus, that's why both the industries play an important role in increasing the economy in New Zealand and also in other certain countries. Next, I will pass to Sing Hiu Fong for the further information about poultry farm in New Zealand. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Sing Hiu Fong from Group 7, and now I will talk about the poultry industry in New Zealand. Chicken is an extremely popular meat and often the first choice for New Zealand consumers. They eat around 37.5 kilograms of chicken every year. That's around 20 chickens per person per year. To meet demands, the poultry industry has 180 farms around the country, employing 3,500 people. In fact, they are often described as the best place in the world to grow chickens, as their temperate climate, airborne system, and disease-free status produces tasty chickens per table. Next is the farming system in New Zealand. There are 2 types of meat chicken farming systems are used in New Zealand. They are pen and free range. In pen system, chickens are raised in large, open-plan poultry houses called shields, houses or units. Shields are equipped with automated temperature and ventilation control and feed and watering system, and have little floor so that remain dry underfoot. Next is the free-range system. Free-range system offer the same conditions as pen system, with the additions that the hens are provided with access to outdoor ranging areas. All meat chicken growing companies that are members of CLAN also follow the standard of the Biosecurity Manual for New Zealand meat chicken growers, relating to food safety, suitability requirements, and consumer needs. Poultry vaccinations programs for New Zealand. In New Zealand, biosecurity and skilled poultry husbandry remain the best weapons to prevent diseases from entering the produce field. Vaccination is only recommended when the rate of disease is too high and other control measures do not provide sufficient insurance to protect chicken health and welfare. In general, broilers are not vaccinated in New Zealand, except for very rare occasions like Salmonella and coccidiosis in feeding operations. That's all for me, thank you, and now I will pass to the next member, Sarah.
In New Zealand, chickens are the largest group of farmed birds. A small number enterprises farm turkey, ducks, and other species such as quail. 2 main breed in New Zealand. First one is Cobb, and the second one is Ross. Both are white-feathered poultry. PIANZ. The full form is the Poultry Industry Association of New Zealand. It ensures that producers meet exacting standards in animal welfare, stockmanship, and food safety. PIANZ's work includes liaising with government on issues affecting the industry, undertaking research and maintaining a dialogue with overseas counterparts, scientific and research organizations such as the World Poultry Science Association, animal welfare groups, and major customers and retailers. Legislation. If you are a poultry farmer, you must comply with the following legislation to help ensure you produce safe and suitable food. The first one is Animal Products Act 1999. Second one, Agricultural Compounds and Veterinary Medicine ACVM Act 1997. For animal welfare, as per MPI administers animal welfare requirements, fully housed poultry must be kept, caught, and transported according to the Code of Welfare for meat chickens. Those are Animal Welfare, Meat Chickens Code of Welfare for Transport of Animals in New Zealand. Key requirements for poultry farmers in New Zealand. As a poultry farmer, you must only use approved medicines on your birds. Make sure the feed you use meet the requirements of the Act ACVM, meet the requirements of human consumption specification, and either provide supplier declaration with goods you provide for slaughter or take part in a processor supplier approval program, comply with animal welfare requirements, or operate under a whole flock health scheme WFHS and record how you manage the health of your birds. Details are clearly stated in Whole Flock Health Scheme WFHS.
And now, let me move to swine industry that will be explained by Hana and Shahira.
Assalamualaikum and hello. I'm Nurul Shahana. Will talk about the structure and the farm system type of swine production in New Zealand. According to NZ Pork's website, they stated in their New Zealand Pork Industry Board annual report last year, there are around 93 commercial swine farms in the sector, indicated by Pigcare certification. The size of the commercial swine herd is estimated to be about 637,085 animals, and the average carcass weight is about 69.89 kg. Next, about 34% of swines are being processed in the North Island of New Zealand, whereas the remaining are being processed in the South Island, which about 66%. As for the market and consumers, about 20.8 kg of New Zealand pork consumption per capita on carcass weight equivalent CWE, and 8.7 kg total of New Zealand pork are being consumed per capita CWE of New Zealand produced pork. As for the farm system type, which is the percentage of production, according to a recent benchmarking survey, the output from indoor swine is 55% winter or sow per year. New Zealand's indoor swine have been group housed since December 2015. 42% of swine are bred outdoors, and the remaining of 3% of swine are bred in free range. That's all from me. I'll pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
So, about pig farming system, as we know, New Zealand have two styles, which are the indoors and outdoors. Okay, for indoors, it's all starting in the farrowing room where the piglets are with their mother. However, aside from milking only for their mother, the pre-weaning piglets are given the dry foods, which consist of wheat, soy meals, milk powder, and a lot of vitamins and minerals. It is the smoothest way to practice dry feeds for the pre-weaning piglets. When the times come, the piglet will be moved to the weaner room. It is the room full of facilities, which have the gas heater, which is for the warming purpose, fan and inlet flaps for controlling the atmosphere, slot flooring, and as liver feed. Here, the weaners will be able to eat as much and whenever they want. When the weaners have reached 3 weeks of age, they will move once again to the grower's accommodation, which is where they will gain more weight. The growers will be fed with dry feeds and access of water 24/7. The growers will stay in this room for about 7 weeks until they reach 30 kilograms. The grower accommodation are the place where their hygiene and cleanliness is the top notch. They usually have 50 pigs per pen and 100 pigs per room. Lastly, when the growers have reached the targeted weight, they will be called finishers, which is the stage for pig to be sent for the slaughtering. For outdoor system, the process are not much different from the indoor system. Once the piglet are weaned, they need to be separated from their mother with a loader into the grower unit, or we call it as wean shelter. The piglet are splitted based on their size and sex. They are also able to eat as much as they want. In this shed, there will be some kennels which provide plenty of microclimates to warm the piglets inside. The piglets will stay in the wean shed for about 5 weeks. At the age of 9 weeks, the weaners will be moved to the finisher shed and they will be kept here until slaughtered. This shed also provides straw bedding just like in the wean shed. The straw bedding functions to absorb the urine and manure from the pigs. The used straw needs to be cleaned properly, and farmers usually use trailer to move it to the windrows. The solid materials, dung and urine, will be composed and used as fertilizer to other farms and their own farms in the future.
As conclusion, the New Zealand poultry industry has been dominated by chicken for many years. Pig meat imports by New Zealand are on an upward trend and per capita consumption is similarly growing. New Zealand's pig farmers are threatened with extinction by new, foreign source of competition. However, with the facilities and technology that have been adopted in New Zealand, such as farm system, biosecurity and vaccination, they can rank the management of poultry and pig farms on par with other developed countries. I think that's all from us. Thank you for watching.